The first Met batter in this broadcast is missing. Sandy Alomar strikes out, and the game picks up with Al Luplow, the Mets' second batter, at home plate. Also might make notice of the fact that this game was Tom Seaver's third Major League start. I hope you enjoy it.
Luplow, our left-hand batter, batting at .250 with 6 hits and 24 times up. And the first pitch by Gary Nolan, a curve that stays up high and away, ball one. Final score, the Philadelphia Phillies got 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning to defeat Atlanta by a score of 6-4. Ran Jackson, the relief pitcher, the winning pitcher. He relieved Jim Bunning in the 7th. The losing pitcher was Clay Kill, also in the game. In relief, he came in the 9th. Next pitch is outside ball 2. This time a fastball missing. In that ball game, Bunning had a home run with no one out in the 5th inning, and Lou had one in the 6th. Torrey had one in the 6th, and Carty had one in the 6th. Atlanta scoring 4 runs in the 6th inning. All 4 runs coming on 3 home runs. Pitch back is outside, and it's ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to Al Luplow with Tommy Davis on deck. Giants out on top of the first against the Dodgers. The Dodgers coming up. Bob Boland against Don Drysdale. Let's play the Giants Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. Now a check on the 3-0 pitch. A foul off the bat, and it's 3-1. Al Luplow is given the green light with 2 men out here in the top of the first. Tuesday night, Jack Fisher will be pitching for the Mets against Gaylord Perry. On Wednesday, it's scheduled to be Bob Shaw against Mike McCormick. Now a base hit to left field. Luplow with a line drive to left. The left fielder, Steve Rose, slips momentarily as he fields the ball, but gets it in time, and Luplow has to stay at first. So the Mets, who had only 2 hits in the first ball game as they won at 2-0, pick up their first hit here in the second. That brings up Tommy Davis. Final game on Thursday night against the Giants will see Juan Marichal against Bill Dennehy. First pitch to Tommy Davis, a fastball, called a strike. Letter high fastball, strike 1. Tommy batting .320. He had a base hit in the first ball game. 4 times up. He was the last man to get on in that first ball game. Now a swing and a miss, strike 2. Between Billy McCool and Ted Abernathy in that first game, they retired 19 Mets in a row. And with 2 here in the first inning, it was 21 before Al Luplow got the base hit. Don Cardwell, the winning pitcher in that first game, winning 2-0. Pitch just outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A fastball missing. Gary Nolan pitches with sort of a short arm motion, and he must be a little bit faster than he looks. Luplow on at first base. Lee May there. And the next pitch, outside again with a fastball. 2-2. It's Lee May at first base, Tommy Helms at second, Leo Cardenas at short, Darren Johnson at third. Pete Rose in left field, Vada Pinson in center field, Tommy Harper in right. The catcher, Johnny Edwards. 2-2. Luplow at first. And the pitch back is grounded out to shortstop. Leo Cardenas has it, goes to second base for the 4th play there to retire the side. In the inning, no runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 man left on base, and the score after 1.5 inning, the Mets nothing, the Reds coming up. You know something? When you're a pro, you're a pro. Either you have it or you don't. Like sometimes a rookie comes along, and he looks so good, everyone thinks the guy may be another Ty Cobb. He runs like him, he walks and hits like him. In fact, everyone sure is the Georgia Peach reincarnated. But then, about 2 weeks after the season has begun, someone on the other team spots that the guy can't hit a low inside curve, and that's it. He's through. A few weeks later, you mention the rookie's name, and the fans don't even remember him. You've really got to have it to make it, especially in a tough town like New York. New York's rough. You know, there are 302 brands of beer in that city. 302. That's a lot of brands competing with each other. You know the beer that's made it to the top? Rheingold. How come? It's the beer itself. The way it tastes. That rich, dry lager. Rheingold tastes good. Day after day. That's what a real pro is. Consistent. Okay, Lindsey Nelson, and here's a fellow who's been consistent, Tom Seaver. Tom with a record of 2-0, getting set to pitch against the Cincinnati Reds for the first time. Seaver last year, in his first year in professional baseball, had a record of 12-12 for Jacksonville. He set a club record in strikeouts with 188 and 210 innings. He was originally signed by the Atlanta Braves for $50,000. The Mets got him in a grab bag when he was declared ineligible, and any team in the major leagues had a shot at him for $50,000 if they could have their name pulled out of the hat. The Phillies, Cleveland, and the Mets put their name in the hat, and the Mets got him. Tom Seaver, who has won 2 and lost none. He'll be pitching to Tommy Harper as his first man. Seaver, 22 years of age, was born in Fresno, California, lives in Los Angeles, and the first pitch is fouled back at strike 1. Tommy Harper batting .234. As a leadoff batter in the first ball game, he was 0 for 4. Mets found a way to keep him from stealing bases. He had 3 stolen bases in the first 2 games. The series now stands at 2-1. And the pitch back is a breaking ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. No score in the game. The Reds batting for the first time. It'll be Tommy Harper, Vada Pinson, and Pete Rose. And the right-hander back again, and the fastball is fouled off. Out of play, the count goes to 1-2. First baseman Eddie Kranepool. At second base, Chuck Hiller. At shortstop, Sandy Alomar. At third base, Ken Boyer. In the outfield, Tommy Davis. In left field, Don Bosch. In center field, Al Luplow in right. The catcher, Jerry Grody, sending out the signs for Tom Seaver. And Tom at 1-2, and the pitch is fouled off to the right side again by Whitey Wheatleman, the first base coach, and on down the right field line. Coaching at third base, Vern Benson. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Seaver tries again. And the pitch. A fastball hit out to right field. Al Luplow moving in, ball high in the air, and he makes the catch. So Tom Seaver has his first man, and that brings up Vada Pinson. Pinson kept the hopes of the Cincinnati Reds alive in the last inning when they came to bat trailing 2-0. After one man was out, Vada singled to center field, but then Don Cardwell got Pete Rose to smash into a double play as the Mets won 2-0. Pinson with 1 hit and 4 times up in the first ball game is average now at .351. And the first pitch is fouled down in the dirt at strike 1. Cardwell 1 in 10 innings against the Cubs to start off this road trip. He had a 1-0 shutout going when the Mets booted away a run, but Seaver came back to single and score the go-ahead run that won the game 2-1. Only shutout pitch by a Met pitcher pitched in this first game by Cardwell. Now the next pitch is called a strike. It's strike 2. Pinson, a left-hand batter with 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in. Next pitch grounded out to first. Kranepool gets a good high hop. He tosses over to Tom Seaver, covering at first base for the out. 2 men up and 2 men away, and that brings up Pete Rose. He had the first hit off Cardwell in the 4th inning. And he was 1 for 4 in the first ball game. His average now at .285 with 1 home run and 9 runs batted in. Batting from the left-hand side against the right-hand pitcher. And the first pitch is called a strike, a knee-high fastball. The New York Yankees scored 3 runs in the bottom half of the 10th inning to defeat the California Angels 4-1. Womack, the winning pitcher, in relief. The losing pitcher was the starting pitcher, George Brunette, for the Angels. Now the next pitch is strike 2, called strike 2. On deck batter is Lee May. Tom Seaver back to Rose, and the fastball is fouled off. He had the fastball by him. He fouled it down the left side. Ball going on top of the roof out of play, and the count remains at strike 2. Steve Barber pitching in the top of the 9th inning with a no-hit, no-run game going against the Detroit Tigers. The only thing is that Baltimore has yet to score. Now a check and a swing and a foul ball. It's a 0-0 game. Baltimore in the bottom half of the eighth have given Steve Barber a run, and he now goes to the top of the ninth with a 1-0 lead. So he's got a chance to pitch a no-hit, no-run game. Needs 3 more outs. Next pitch to Rose is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tom Seaver missed him with a fastball. And the right-hander now back again. And the pitch is fouled off again. Now remaining at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Steve Barber has never pitched a no-hit, no-run game. He had a 1-hit game to start off this season against the California Angels. Fergosi got a base hit in the 9th inning to spoil his pitch for a no-hitter. Now the next delivery bounced in the dirt. It's ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Steve Barber started the season in the minor leagues, trying to get a bad arm back in shape. It evidently is in great shape. 2-2 pitch, grounded out to short. Alomar has it. It's thrown to first base, retires to side in order. And the score at the end of 1, the Mets nothing, the Reds nothing. And once again, here's Lindsey Nelson.
Well, the 1967 Mets yearbook is now on sale at Shea Stadium, and it's also available by mail. The Met yearbook contains pictures, facts, figures on all the players, plus this year a full-color centerfold team picture that's suitable for framing. Now, you can buy the yearbook at Shea Stadium for 50 cents a copy, or if you'd like to order it by mail, the address is Met Yearbook, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. It costs 50 cents plus 15 cents for mailing and handling, a total of 65 cents a copy if you order it by mail. You know, a lot of the Met fans have collected the yearbooks right from the first one early in the 1962 season. As you may know, during the course of the year, the yearbook is updated, reissued. There are new editions from time to time, so that new ball players can be included, and pictures of events that have occurred can be included as well. And there are an awful lot of Met fans who have made this a collector's item and have the entire issue of Met yearbooks right from the start. So if you'd like a copy of the 1967 Met yearbook, you can pick it up at Shea Stadium, and a good time to do that is during the homestand coming up when the Mets will be there Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night against the San Francisco Giants. Then the Houston Astros are in for the weekend, and then the Cincinnati Reds will be coming to New York. Or you can order the yearbook by mail, and the address is Mets Yearbook, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York, zip code 11368, and by mail it's 65 cents a copy. Once again, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Lindsey. It's the top of the second, and now the sun is starting to shine here at Crosley Field. We had rain this morning. It looked as though we might have a very difficult day today. But the weather has been getting better as we've gone along. Certainly a much better day for West Western with the Mets winning the first game 2-0. The clouds disappeared, and now the sun coming out. First man up for the Mets here in the top of the second, Eddie Claypool. Ed did not bat in the first ball game. He was in the game at first base in the 9th inning. And Gary Nolan with the first pitch. It's a fastball. It's fouled off, strike 1. Eddie's roommate, Ron Swoboda, played first base in the first ball game through the first 8 innings, and he contributed a home run, his first this year. It'll be Eddie Claypool, Ken Boyer, and Jerry Grote for Gary Nolan. The curveball hit down the left field line. It's going to go for extra bases. Going back into the corner. Claypool rounds first base, goes into second base. The throw from Pete Rose is not in time. And the Mets have their second base hit in the game. And while Claypool waits at second base with Ken Boyer coming up, we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Hi, this is Jerry Ducey. Have your late morning coffee with me each weekday morning from 10 to 11:30 here on the big bright sound of WGY Schenectady.
Ralph Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from Crosley Field in Cincinnati. The Mets with a runner in scoring position with no one out here in the top of the second. And the batter is Ken Boyer. And the first pitch is low. It's ball 1. Ken hitless in the first ball game now has a record of 0 for 19. He dropped his average down to 184. Claypool before the base hit batting .333. He now has 10 hits and 28 times up. The 1-0 pitch is a curveball outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Yankees winning that ball game against the Angels on a 3-run home run by Mickey Mantle, his second home run this year. Mantle right close to that 500 home run mark. Now a fastball way inside. Boyer swings and misses. That pitch was about 6 inches off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nolan back again, and the fastball is fouled off. Pitch going off to the right side, 2-2. In the ninth inning, Stu Miller has relieved Steve Barber. So Steve has gone out of that ball game. He had a no-hit, no-run game going into the ninth inning. Fastball off of the glove of Johnny Everett. Claypool goes over to third base, rounds the third and holds there as Edwards comes up with the ball right in front of the dugout of the Mets. And it's a wild pitch against the pitcher, Gary Nolan. Mets with a runner at third base now with no one out, and they count 3-2 on Ken Boyer. Mets got their second one, which proved to be a big one in that first ball game on a wild pitch. Jerry Grody scored from third base on a pitch that rolled about 15 feet away from the catcher, Don Pavletti. Now the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three, and Gary Nolan picks up his third strikeout, his first out here in the second, and it brings up Jerry Grody. Grody, a right-hand batter, bringing a .225 average to the plate. 1 home run and 4 runs batted in. And the Cincinnati Reds are bringing their infield in to try and cut off a run. No score in the game. The Mets have a runner at third base with 1 out here in the top of the second. Gary Nolan into the windup, and the first pitch to Grody, a fastball swung on and missed, strike one. Cincinnati Red pitchers in the first ball game struck out 10 Met batters. McCool had 8, and Abernathy, who went 1 inning, had 2. Now the next pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boy, here's something that's rather interesting in that no-hit, no-run bid by Steve Barber. Swing and a miss, it's strike 2. Detroit tied up the ball game at 1-1 without a hit. Steve Barber is out of the ball game. They scored 1 run on 2 walks, a sacrifice, and a wild pitch. So Barber is out of the game, has not allowed a hit. Detroit has not had a base hit in the ball game off Barber and Stu Miller, and it's a 1-1 game. And there is strike 3 called on Jerry Grody. Four strikeouts for Gary Nolan. And 2 big ones here with a runner at third base, and it brings up Don Bosch, the center fielder. Don played in the first game, was 0 for 2 with a walk. He's batting left-handed against the right-hand pitcher. He has a 132 average. He fouls the first pitch out of play, strike 1. This baseball season has been a weird season. We've seen 4 one-hitters pitch so far. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, Gerald Arrigo pitched a one-hitter against the Mets. Now the next pitch, outside, it's 1-1. Steve Barber had a previous one-hitter. Now his pitch, a no-hitter, and is out of the ball game. Now a swing at a fastball, strike 2. Gary Nolan out in front, 1-2. Eddie Cranepool started the inning off with a double. He was wild pitched to third, and then Ken Boyer struck out. And Jerry Grody struck out. Now they count 1-2 on Don Bosch. And the pitch. It is fouled right on by Charlie Parker, and the third base coaching box. The count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Mets can win this ball game. They can come off this road trip 500. They split in Chicago, 1-1 as Tom Seaver picked up a win. And if they can win this one, they can split here 2-2. Now a high fastball. Pitch up way high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Final score, Kansas City 1, Boston nothing. A 5-hitter pitched by Jim Nash. Brandon also pitched a 5-hitter. He was the losing pitcher. Now at 2-2. The pitch to Bosch is fouled off again, this time down the left field line. Ball going into the box seats. The lower stands here at Crosley Field, a 2-deck stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 men out, top of the second. Leo Cardenas deep in the hole at shortstop. Curveball popped up. The third baseman and catcher going for it. Johnny Edwards makes the call. He makes the catch, and that retires the side. Fine pitching job by Gary Nolan. After giving up a double and a wild pitch, he struck out two and got Don Bosch to foul out. No runs, one hit, no errors, one man left on third, and the score at the end of 1.5 innings, the Mets nothing, the Reds nothing.
Armory Garage says spring is here. Let yourself go. Straight to the corner of Central and Calvin in Albany, where you'll find a fantastic 49th anniversary sale in full swing. Come on over and let yourself go Plymouth. VIP. Luxury well within your reach. A Belvedere beauty is bound to win you over to Plymouth Luxury and Economy. Let yourself go Valiant. The car that lets you live within your budget. Or the bold, brash line of Barracudas. Distinct styling with plenty of go power. How about a good tested used car? Armory boasts a tremendous variety of late model used cars, all reconditioned and ready to go. It's 49th anniversary sale time, so prices are temptingly low. No matter where you live, Armory's huge auto shopping center is only a short drive away. So go on, let yourself go to Armory Garage, Central at Calvin in Albany.
Bottom half of the second inning. The Reds coming up. They lost the first game 2-0, but they have not lost ground to the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals were shut out by the Pittsburgh Pirates and Juan Pizarro. Juan pitching a 4-hitter for Pittsburgh as they won by a score of 2-0. Losing pitch in that game was Larry Jasper, the starting pitcher. Pirates picking up 2 runs on 9 hits. Lee May will lead off for the Reds here in the second. On the mound, Tom Seaver for the Mets. He retired the side in order in the first inning. May, the fourth batter in the batting order, will be followed by Darren Johnson and then Tommy Helm. And the first pitch is hit deep to center field. It's going, and it is gone. Home run to center field, putting the Reds in front by a score of 1-0 on the first pitch here in the second. And now Tom Seaver pitching to Darren Johnson, and the first pitch is grouped into right field. Al Lupo will not get to it. It's going to drop in. Johnson goes to first base and holds there. So the Reds have a runner on with no one out here in the bottom half of the second. The home run by Lee May, who did not play in the first game, was his second hit this year, his first home run. And the home run given up by Tom Seaver, the first that on that pitcher has given up in 45 2/3 innings. Now the batter is Tommy Helm. Helm's a right-hand batter hitting .218. Johnson not being held on his first base. Cranepool playing behind him, and the first pitch is slider that's outside, ball one. Well, the Mets got the first run of the first game on a home run by Ron Swoboda, and now the Reds have the first run of the second game. 1 ball, no strike count. Seaver back to Helm. The runner going, the ball grounded out to second. Hiller was not covering, so he is there. He has to make the play to first base as Darren Johnson goes down the second on the hit-and-run play. A runner in scoring position, and Johnny Edwards coming up. Edwards did not play in the first ball game. He's batting an even .200 with 7 hits in 35 times up. Left-hand batter. 1 man out. Bottom half of the second inning. The Reds now lead 1-0. And the first pitch to Edwards, a sinking fastball, low and away, ball one. No strike. Tom Seaver checking at second base. Now stepping off the pitching rubber. Detroit scored 2 runs in that 9th inning. They lead Baltimore 2-1, and they have no hits. Fly ball hit to left field. Tommy Davis moving back to the incline to one-handed, taking a relatively easy catch. Darren Johnson back to second. That'll bring up Leo Cardenas for shortstop. Leo, a right-hand batter, 0 for 3 in the first ball game, now batting .278. 2 men away, bottom half of the second. The Reds lead 1-0 on the leadoff home run here in the second by Lee May. Cardenas in the batter's box with that overly closed stance. Seaver in a stretch position. And his first pitch, fastball outside and high, ball 1. Gladding has now gone in the ball game for Detroit against Baltimore. In the 9th inning, Wilson, the beneficiary of the 2 runs, going out to pitcher record. Next pitch, a slider over the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the news on that no-hit, no-run game that was going for Steve Barber, he has been taken out. He got taken out and had not given up a hit. Detroit scoring off him on 2 walks to sacrifice and a wild pitch. Later on, another run scoring, so Detroit leads 2-1 without the benefit of a base hit. To break up that no-hitter by Barber, Stu Miller came in the game to relieve him. Now a swing and a foul back against the glass back of home plate. The count goes to 1-2. Possible base hits might have come off of Stu Miller. We'll check that and give you the information later on. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tom Seaver back again. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3, and that retires the side as Tom picks up his first strikeout. 1 run in the inning on 2 hits. No errors, a runner left at second base, and the score at the end of 2, the Reds won, the Mets nothing. Now here's a word from Rheingold.
For 60 years, Malcolm Sharp has been taking New Yorkers for a ride.
You know why they made the road windy and some fun?
You keep us from racing the caddy.
I remember one time I had Diamond Jim in my cab. Raced old Charlie Simmons all the way down to Gramercy Park. That was easy then. They weren't more than just a ride now. They want memories, romance. Got to treat them elegant. You're going to be around for a while, New York. You got to give people what they want.
You've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to be good. Because in this town, either you have it or you don't. Same thing's true of beer. There are 302 different brands of beer trying to make it in New York. But the only one that's made it to the top is the rich, dry lager, Rheingold. Rheingold. In this town, either you have it or you don't.
It's the top of the third. The Reds in front 1-0 in the second game of this doubleheader. The Mets won the first game 2-0 behind Don Cardwell. First man up for the Mets will be Tom Seaver. Tom won his last game against the Cubs 2-1 in 10 innings, and he scored both runs in that ball game. And he set it up for his win in the 10th inning when he singled to right field. Tom has had 2 hits and 6 times up, batting .333, a right-hand batter. On the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, Gary Nolan, who has struck out 4 in his first 2 innings. And the right-hander with the first pitch is called a strike. Mets have had 2 hits in the game off Nolan. Now the information is on the Detroit-Baltimore game. A ground ball off a curveball hit down the short. Leo Cardenas comes in to one-handed. Makes a good play to first base to retire Tom Seaver. 1 away. That'll bring up Sandy Alomar for the second time. The second Detroit run in that ball game, scoring in the 9th inning against the Orioles, coming on an error. So the Tigers have no hits in the ball game, and they lead 2-1 with Baltimore coming up in the bottom half of the 9th. Steve Barber pitched the first 8 innings, started the 9th, was relieved by Stu Miller. First pitch to Alomar is high at ball 1. So the Tigers scored a run on 2 walks, a sacrifice, a wild pitch, and scored another run on an error. Well, when you can figure out baseball, you'd be the first one. Next pitch is fouled back. It's now 1-1. They will have been playing professional baseball 100 years when it gets to be 1969. The first game played was 1869 professionally right here in Cincinnati. And no one's figured this game out yet. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball called a strike. It's now 1-2. The city of Cincinnati and the state of Ohio hoping to get the All-Star game here in 69. They're hoping that they'll be able to play it in their brand new stadium, which will be located right near downtown Cincinnati. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Rounded right to the middle. Going over to his right side, Tommy Helms. He has it. His throw to first is in time. 2 men away. It brings up Chuck Hiller. Say, the Rheingold Chug-A-Mug is a wide-mouthed glass mug that holds 12 ounces of beer, and it even feels right when you pick it up. We're selling them in handy cartons of 6, and they're just about the handiest thirst quenchers in town. You'll find Chug-A-Mug on special display at your local stores in New York and New Jersey. Chuck Hiller now batting with 2 men out in the top of the third. The first pitch is a curveball outside, ball 1. Both Alomar and Chuck Hiller struck out in the first inning. The first 2 batters that Gary Nolan pitched to. Reds lead 1-0. Now foul off a fastball. Ball going back on top of the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. The applause given for a boot by the ball retriever down behind home plate as the ball rolled off the screen. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Curveball hit out to left field. Moving back to left fielder Pete Rose at the foot of the incline. He makes the catch to retire the side. So for the first time in the game, Gary Nolan gets the Mets out in order, and the score after 2.5 innings, the Reds won, the Mets nothing. Now here's a word from Rheingold.
For 60 years, Malcolm Sharp has been taking New Yorkers for a ride.
You know why they made the road windy in Central Park? You keep us from racing the cab. I remember one time I had Diamond Jim in my cab. Raced old Charlie Simmons all the way down to Gramercy Park. That was easy then. They want more than just a ride now. They want memories, romance. Got to treat them elegant. You're going to be around for a while, so you ought. You got to give people what they want.
You've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to be good. Because in this town, either you have it or you don't. Same thing's true of beer. There are 302 different brands of beer trying to make it in New York. But the only one that's made it to the top is the rich, dry lager, Rheingold. Rheingold. In this town, either you have it or you don't.
Bottom half of the third inning. The Reds coming up. They lead 1-0 on a home run by Lee May, the first baseman. Tom Seaver has given up 1 run and 2 hits. Gary Nolan, the pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, has given up no runs and 2 hits. And Nolan will be the first man for Tom Seaver. Nolan getting a fine hand. He has fast become one of the most popular Cincinnati Red players. 18 years of age in his second year in professional baseball. And Tom Seaver with the first pitch here in the third. And it's over the outside corner, a slider for a called strike. Well, Detroit won it against Baltimore by a score of 2-1, and they won it without a base hit. Next pitch is inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers scoring 2 runs in the top of the ninth. They did not have a base hit in the ball game, beating Baltimore 2-1. Baltimore had 2 hits off the winning pitcher Earl Wilson and Glading. Next pitch is called a strike. It's now 1-2. Losing pitcher Steve Barber, and he didn't give up a base hit. That's the hard way. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Seaver back, and a breaking ball hit down to second base. Hiller has to go to his left to one-handed. He comes up with the ball on the grass, turns and throws to first base in time. Gary Nolan out here in the bottom half of the third for the first out. It brings up Tommy Harper. And Nolan getting a hand for that effort. Well, it's like the man says, all you have to do is be good and young. Tommy Harper is stepping in. He flied out to right field his first time up. Harper batting .231. Right-hand batter. And the first pitch is low. A fastball sticking below the knees. Ball one. Reds in front, 1-0. One out, bottom half of the third. Seaver into the windup and back again. And the pitch is high. Ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. The ball off of the glove of Jerry Grote. Now he goes out to the pitching mound. Evidently got crossed up on the side. At the end of 2.5 innings, the Dodgers won, the Giants nothing. Bob Boland pitching for the Giants against Don Drysdale. Now time is in. The pitch is outside. It's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Giants will be in Shea Stadium Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. 3-0 delivery by Seaver is called a strike. Harper taking on through, 3-1. Starting pitches for the second Philadelphia-Atlanta game. Philly won the first game 6-4. Rick Wise for the Phillies, Bob Bruce for Atlanta. Phillies got a run in the top of the first. They lead 1-0 with Atlanta coming up in the bottom half of the first. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on and popped back of home plate, out of play in foul territory. That puts the count at 3-2. 3-2 on Tommy Harper. On deck batter, Beta Pinson. And Seaver back. And the pitch is fouled back again out of play. Ball coming right over the top of our head. Hitting right on top of the radio booth. Now remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tommy Harper, the batter. Once again, it's Seaver back to the plate. And a slider hit out to left field. Deep to left, moving back, Tommy Davis. He's going up the incline. It's over his head against the wall. Harper goes to second base. John Bosch fields the ball off of the scoreboard. And Harper holds at second with a double. So the Reds have a runner in scoring position now with 1 man out in the bottom half of the third, and Beta Pinson coming up. Third base hit off Tom Seaver. Tom had a runner at second base with 1 man out in the second inning. He got Johnny Everett and Leo Cardenas. Now working under similar circumstances with Beta Pinson and Pete Rose, his next 2 men. And the first pitch to Pinson is a fastball fouled off. It's out of play, strike 1. Pinson batting .347. Grounded out to first base his first time up. And Eddie Creampool is now coming in to talk with Tom Seaver at the pitching mound. Head back to first base. Harper, a fast runner, is on second. Has a short lead. And now Seaver set to go. And his 1 strike delivery is down low. Fastball sinking too low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pinson, the left-hand batter with a close stance. Seaver checking at second. Now looking there again. And back to the plate. Slider line to right. A fly to right. Al Lupo moving to his left, gets to it. Fine play by Lupo getting to that line drive to right field. Tommy Harper, who was halfway down the line, goes back to second. That ball was well hit. Now with 2 men out, the batter will be Pete Rose. Pete grounded out the shortstop his first time up. Left-hand batter against the right-hander Tom Seaver. In the first ball game, Pete Rose was at bat at the tying run in the 9th inning with 1 out and hit a hot smash down to second base, which the Mets turned into a double play to save the ball game for Don Cardwell. Mets winning the first game 2-0. They trail in this one 1-0 with 2 men out in the bottom half of the third. And Tom Seaver set to go. The pitch to Pete Rose is right to the middle of base hit. Tommy Harper coming around from second base. The throw into home. It might be close. It is cut off, and now the throw to first base is in time, and Pete Rose is doubled off first. But a run scores. The Reds take the lead by a score of 2-0 as Pete Rose gets his first base hit today, his 10th run batted in the season. 1 run in on 2 hits, no errors, and no one left on base. And the score at the end of 3, the Reds 2, the Mets nothing. Well, we mentioned just a moment ago that the Mets return home tonight and start a very important homestand against the San Francisco Giants, playing the Giants Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Tuesday night's game, we'll see Jack Fisher pitching for the Mets against Gaylord Perry. Wednesday, it'll be Bob Shaw against Mike McCormick, and Thursday, it'll be Bill Dennehy against Juan Marichal. You can get tickets for all the home games of the Mets at a wide variety of locations at Shea Stadium. They're open there today until 5 o'clock, and they're open 7 days a week. Weekdays from 8 to 6, weekends 9 to 5. You can get tickets at Grand Central Station at the foot of the 42nd Street and Vanderbilt Avenue ramp. They're open weekdays from 8 to 6 and on Saturdays from 8:30 to 4. Tickets also available at Macy's at the 34th Street and 7th Avenue store on the main floor, and at Macy's in the Walt Whitman Shopping Center in Huntington, Long Island. Both locations open during regular store hours. In addition, reservations for box and reserve seats may be made at all Howard Clothing stores during regular store hours, and also at any branch of the Manufacturers Hanover Trust Company during banking hours. Tickets can be obtained by mail by writing Ticket Manager, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. The zip is 11368. Sure to add 25 cents to cover the cost. Box seats are $3.50 each, and reserve seats are $2.50 each. Well, we're moving now to the top of the 4th inning. The Reds in front 2-0 with the Mets coming up. And here for the play-by-play, Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ralph Cannon. Hello again, everybody. It's Al Luplow coming up here to face Gary Nolan, hard-throwing right-hander, 18 years of age. Came into today's ball game with a record of 1 win and 1 loss for the Cincinnati Reds. And the pitch swung on it. There's strike 1. Through the first 3 innings of play here, Gary Nolan struck out 4. The sun is breaking through. There are a few rather dark, ominous clouds moving around the outer fringes of the area. And here's a drag bunt attempt towards second baseman Tommy Helms. He scoops it up and tries to play it to Nolan. Not in time. It's a base hit. Helms just scooped the ball with a gloved hand. He made no effort to exchange it and throw. He just scooped it with the gloved hand over to Gary Nolan, covering it first because Perez had gone for the ball too. But it is a drag bunt base hit. Now time is called, and Dave Bristol goes out to the mound to have a word with his young pitcher.
Let's see if we got some further information on the Detroit-Baltimore game. Baltimore won it 2-1 without a base hit. It's the first time in the history of baseball that a team ever defeated 2 pitchers that combined to pitch a no-hit game. Barber walked 7 men in that ball game, incidentally. He went through the first 8 innings with a no-hit, no-run game going.
All right here, Dave Bristol finishes his conference with his batteryman, Johnny Edwards, out there, along with Gary Nolan. Bristol goes back to the dugout. That's their leadoff man on base, a drag bunt for a base hit by Al Luplow. That's 3 hits for the Mets in the ballgame off Gary Nolan, and Tommy Davis is up there, right-hand batter. Here's a swing and a fly ball to deep center. It's way back there, going, and this one is all gone for a home run for Tommy Davis over the center field fence. And so the New York Mets make a new ball game of it here as Al Luplow is coming across the plate. And coming across now, Tommy Davis. He hit that with the straightaway center field over the high wall out there for Davis' second home run of this season. And the score is tied, the Mets 2 and the Reds 2. Eddie Craneville coming up now. He's been up one time and doubled down the left field line. Nobody out for the Mets here in the top half of the 4th inning. Nolan's pitch is low as Craneville started to go and laid off. Waiting in the on-deck circle, swinging a bat, Ken Boyer. That was the 3rd home run hit off Gary Nolan this year. There's a swing and a ground ball towards first. Lee May waves back, takes it on a big hop, waves off Nolan and jogs to the bag. He makes the play unassisted. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Hi, this is Jerry Ducey. I'll have good music for you weekday mornings from 10 to 11:30 here on the big bright sound of WGY Schenectady.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Canner and Bob Murphy here at Crosley Field in Cincinnati, Ohio. Second game of a doubleheader. We're in the top of the fourth. It's tied 2-2. The Mets won the first game here today by a score of 2-0. Here's a pitch low to Boyer for ball one. Boyer's been up one time and struck out swinging. Nolan looks to Johnny Edwards to get a sign. Deals a 1-0 pitch that's low for a ball. Ken Boyer in the throes of a horrendous batting slump. He has gone 0 for 20. There's a swing and a ground ball toward first. Lee May waits back, takes it on a big hop, waves off Nolan and jogs to the bag. He makes the play unassisted. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Hi, this is Jerry Ducey. I'll have good music for you weekday mornings from 10 to 11:30 here on the big bright sound of WGY Schenectady.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Tanner and Bob Murphy here at Crosley Field in Cincinnati, Ohio. Second game of a doubleheader. We're in the top of the fourth. It's tied 2-2. The Mets won the first game here today by a score of 2-0. Here's a pitch low to Boyer for ball one. Boyer's been up one time and struck out swinging. Nolan looks to Johnny Edwards to get a sign. Deals a 1-0 pitch that's low for a ball. Ken Boyer in the throes of a horrendous batting slump. He has gone 0 for 20. This will be a 2-0 pitch. Swung on in on the ground, foul back at third, taken there on the coaching line by Coach Salty Parker. He tosses it over to Darren Johnson and back over to Gary Nolan now. One man out, nobody on base. Mets have 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Reds, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Here's a curveball low, and now Nolan goes behind 3-1. Jerry Grody is waiting on deck. Here's a 3-1 delivery. Swung on and pops up to the right side in foul territory. Edwards is there, and so is Lee May. May calls and makes the catch. Lindsey, here's the breakdown of that ninth inning. In the ninth inning with Baltimore in front 1-0, the Tigers coming up. Cash walks, Euler walks, and then a sacrifice moves them to second and third. Horton then fouled out for the second out of the inning, but a wild pitch scored the first run on a 1-2 count when Stanley was batting, who then walked. That put runners at first and third. Word then grounded to Aparicio, who threw the ball to Belanger, who dropped the ball to let the second run score. And, of course, they did not get a base hit in the inning. They won the game with no hits, winning the game 2-1. It was a combined losing effort for Steve Barber and also Stu Miller. All right, down to strike one now to Jerry Grody at the plate. He fouled off the first pitch to the right side out of play. And here's a pitch in for a call. Strike two, a curveball. That reminds me of Ken Johnson pitching for Cincinnati, he was pitching for Houston, losing a no-hit, no-run game. But he did it all by himself. This is the first time 2 pitchers ever combined. This pitch is a fastball outside, and it's 1-2 now to Jerry Grody. 2 men out, nobody on base. 2 runs in the inning for the New York Mets. He lost that game to Joe Nuxall, who is now broadcasting this baseball game right now. And a 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and Nolan gets his 5th strikeout of the afternoon. That is the second time he has managed to get Grody that way, and the Mets pick up 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and none left. Scored during the 3.5 innings is the Mets 2 and the Reds 2.
It's spring, and everything's coming up colossal on the corner of Central and Calvin in Albany. It's Armory Garage celebrating their 49th anniversary sale with a crop of tested used cars you have to see to believe. Hundreds to choose from at prices so low that used car sales manager Art Neat can hardly believe them himself. Pick the used car you want, then put as little as 49 cents down. Take years to pay. Your credit is wealth at Armory. You can buy, sign, and pay at Armory, home of 101 time payment plans. Browse around. You'll see why everything's colossal, from the 3 big shops, 2 big lots, including the huge 14-acre lot, to the experience of the 135 employees. Then check the allowances, the deals, the fast delivery, and you'll see why Armory's been the leader for 49 years in used car sales and service. It's spring, time to trade up at Armory Garage during their colossal 49th anniversary sale, Central at Calvin in Albany.
For the Cincinnati Reds, facing the Mets, young Tom Seaver. The totals are identical in the ball game to this point. Al Luplo out in right field getting outfitted with sunglasses now because the sun is suddenly showing through the overcast overhead. And Don Marsh takes a look up as well. Lee May, the first baseman, right-hand batter. Tom Seaver with the pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Off the chest to Boyer. He picks it up and throws on and throws high. And safe at first is Lee May. It is an error charge against Ken Boyer at third base. It was off his chest, and then when he picked it up, he hurried to throw, and the throw went high. Cranepool anchored the foot and reached up high for it and pulled down the throw, but Lee May was on it first. So the leadoff man is on for the Cincinnati Reds. Nobody out in Darren Johnson's the batter. He's been up one time and slammed the base hit into right. Seaver steps off the rubber to tighten up Lee May, and Darren Johnson steps out at the plate. Score tied, 2-2. Seaver's pitch. Pitch out, nothing on. 1-0 the count to Darren Johnson at the plate. Helms is swinging about on deck. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and it's low for a ball. So Seaver goes behind 2-0. Let's play Darren Johnson straight away. Seaver sets, checks, and deals. The pitch is low. 3 balls and no strikes to Darren Johnson. Sandy Alomar and Chuck Hiller getting together on who will cover. Out at second base on a specific situation. Lee May takes his lead at first. Cranepool holds, and here's the pitch. In for a call strike. He was searching. It's now 3-1. The Mets won the first game here today by a score of 2-0. Don Cardwell was the winning pitcher, and he is watching this second game from his position here on the radio deck. Here is a throw to first, not in time. Seaver checks the runner. This will be a 3-1 pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Taken by Boyer. Over to Hiller. That's one to throw to first, and it's a double play. Darren Johnson hitting into a 5-4-3 double play that goes from Boyer to Hiller to Cranepool. Threw away, nobody on base, and Tommy Helms is coming up. The end of 4 innings of play, the Los Angeles Dodgers won and the San Francisco Giants nothing. Bob Boland against Don Drysdale in that one. Here's a pitch in for a call strike to Helms. The first game of a doubleheader, the Philadelphia Phillies beat the Atlanta Braves 6-4 by getting 3 runs in the top of the ninth. Grant Jackson was the winner in relief of starter Jim Bunning. Clay Carroll was the loser. It's to Helms, and it's low for a ball. In that game, Jim Bunning had a home run. Felipe Alou had one. Joe Torre had one. Rico Carty had one. In the second game in Atlanta, they've gone an inning and a half. Phillies won, the Atlanta Braves nothing. Rick Wise against Bob Bruce. In Houston, the Cubs and the Astros are in the bottom of the 8th. Here's a swing and a drive to deep center field. March is going up the incline. He's at the wall, and he hauls it down for the out. So the side is retired. No runs, no hits, and none left. And the score at the end of 4 full innings is the Mets 2 and the Reds 2. Say, fans, here's your chance to meet your favorite Mets player before a ball game. There's a list of 10 fan club dates that are set up right on through to June 30th. It can be attained by writing to Mets Fan Club, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. Or you can pick up that same list at any regular Mets ticket outlet. And for those fans who've already received the list, please make a note that Ed Cranepool's date has been changed from June 26th to May 19th. And tickets are now available for that May 19th date. You have to have tickets prior to you coming to the ball game in order to get in to meet your favorite Mets who might be up that day.
So don't forget, write to Met Fan Club, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York, for a list of the 10 fan club dates that are coming up through June 30th. Right now, it's the top of the 5th, and once again, here's Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph, continuing to catch up on a few of the scores of other games. In the bottom half of the 8th in Houston, it's the Chicago Cubs 4 and the Astros 1. Big night for Chicago. Bo Belinsky started for Houston, and Claude Raymond has relieved him in the 7th inning. Ron Santo had a first-inning homer for the Chicago Cubs. And the Pittsburgh Pirates shut out the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0 on a 4-hitter by Juan Pizarro. Larry Castor was the loser, followed by Browns, Woody Chick, and Willis. The American League, the first game of a doubleheader, Cleveland beat the Chicago White Sox 2-1. Gary Bell, the winner, Bruce Howard, the loser. Leon Wagner and Tom McCraw had home runs. In the second game, the warm-up, Steve Hargan against Jim O'Toole. And the first game at Baltimore, as you know, the Detroit Tigers beat the Baltimore Orioles 2-1. Earl Wilson got the win. Jim Gladding relieved him in the ninth. Steve Barber and Stu Miller were the pitchers for the Baltimore Orioles. They allowed no hit to the Detroit Tigers, but lost the game. Now Don Bosch is up to lead off for the Mets here in the top half of the 5th inning. He takes the first pitch high for a ball. He's a switch hitter batting left against the right-hander, 18-year-old Gary Nolan. Warm-ups in the second game at Baltimore, Joe Sparmer against Jim Palmer. Here's a swing and a foul tip right down to the dirt. It's 1-1 to Bosch. In Washington, the Senators beat the Minnesota Twins 7-3 in the first game. Camilo Pascual got the win with help from Bob Humphries in the 7th inning, and Jim Mudcat Grant took the loss. Jim Olam and Sonny Siebler relieving there. Second game through 4 innings, Washington 1, Minnesota nothing. Jim Cott against Moore and Ken Harrelson homered in the second with nobody on for the Senators. There's a fastball, a little tight to Don Bosch. It's 2-1. The New York Yankees beat the California Angels in 10 innings, 4-1 on a 10th inning homer by Mickey Mantle. Dooley Womack was the winner in relief. Whitey Ford started the game, relieved by Reynolds in the 8th, and George Brunette was the loser. There's a swing and a drive into left field for a base hit for Don Bosch. He rose up with it, plays it back, and the Mets get a leadoff base hit here in the top half of the 5th. Don Bosch on its first, and Tom Seaver coming up. The second game in New York, at the end of a half inning, the California Angels won. The Yankees coming to bat. It's Clark against Downing. The Kansas City A's shut out the Boston Red Sox 1-0 at Fenway Park in Boston. Jim Nash the winner, Darrell Brandon the loser. Danny Shader homered in the second with nobody on. That was all the scoring in the game. Now pitched to Seaver. It's in for a strike. He squared the bunt but didn't offer. So it's a strike one count. Darren Johnson stays on the edge of the grass at third. Lee May, the first baseman, holds against the runner, ready to charge. Here's the pitch. Seaver squares. It's bunted up the first baseline. Taken by the pitcher, and the throw to Cardenas at short in time for the fourth. Gary Nolan came off the mound. Came up with the run and fired to Cardenas at second in time to force Bosch. So Seaver becomes the runner at first. George with the time at bat and attempting to sacrifice. Sandy Alomar, also a switch hitter, is coming up now. He'll be batting left against Gary Nolan. Runner at first and one man out, and the score tied here, 2-2. Sandy Alomar is still looking for his first base hit as a New York Met. Here's a swing and a fly ball down the line and left, and moving over his rows, he's up the inside, he makes the catch. Halfway on the fly ball to left, Seaver goes back to first, there are 2 men out. Now Chuck Hiller, a left-hand batter, the second baseman. He has struck out and flied to the left. Mets have 2 runs on 5 hits. The Reds have 2 runs on 4 hits. The Mets won the first game 2-0. Ball is low, ball 1. At the conclusion of this game, the Mets will be flying back to New York, back to LaGuardia Airport. The charter plane. There's a swing and a foul ball backing out of play. It's 1-1. Two men out, the runner at first. Lou Ploth on deck with Hiller at the plate. Offering low for a ball. It's 2-1. 2-run delivery. Swung on and slammed into right field. Harper comes on. He passes to Shoestring, and he comes up with it. Rolling over on his shoulder, and Rob Hiller of a base hit with a shoestring grab, and then he took a full tumble on over, but held on to the baseball. So the side is out. No runs and a hit, no errors, and one left. And the score in the middle of the fifth is the Mets 2 and the Reds 2. And now here's a word from Rheingold.
I had $200 for a train ticket one way to New York. And it was, I looked like it was happening, just, like I would have wanted it to. But it's a hard town. No, I think it's a simple town. If you have any qualities at all to offer. People like new faces. And if they like you're great. If not, every place I go, they want me to have experience. And I can't get any more experience unless I do get a job. And thus, I am stuck. It's just, you've got to know what you're doing. Either you're good or you're not.
And in this town, you can't fake it. You either have it or you don't. Take beer. Take Rheingold. There are 302 beers in the city, but the only one that's made it to the top is Rheingold. You gotta be good to make it in New York. Rheingold makes it. In this town, either you have it or you don't.
We're going to the bottom half of the fifth inning, and it'll be Johnny Edwards coming up for the Reds. Just at the finish of that inning, they got Aurelio Monteagudo up to throw. He's a right-hander, and he's continuing to throw down in the Cincinnati bullpen. There goes Jerry Good. He's thrown down to second. Around the horn, Edwards is marching up to the plate. He's run up one time, and he flied out to left field. Johnny Edwards this year has a batting average of 194. He's been up 35 times, had 7 hits. In to get the sign. The pitch is swung out, hit in the air to center field. Don Bike hangs right there and makes the catch. So there's one away for the Reds batting in the bottom of the fifth, and Leo Cardinal is coming up. He's been up one time and he's struck out swinging. The score is tied here, 2-2. That's number 8 in the Cincinnati batting order. Tom Seaver with the pitch. And it's low for a ball. San Francisco Giants scored a run in the top half of the fifth inning. So now going to the bottom of the fifth, it is the Giants 1, the Dodgers 1. Bob Poland against Don Drysdale. There's a swing and a foul ball back and out of play. The end of an inning and a half, second game in New York. The California Angels won the New York Yankees nothing. Clark against Downey. Yankees won the first game in 10 innings by a score of 4-1. Here's a swing and a miss. 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. And Milton Tom Seaver gets his second strikeout as he gets Cardenas swinging. Now Gary Nolan comes up, and he's getting a hand from the fans in Cincinnati. Nolan grounded out in the third inning, second to first. The pitch is a little high and a little tight. Ball one. Two California youngsters opposing each other here this afternoon. Tom Seaver, grew up in Fresno, lives now in Los Angeles. Here's a 1-0 pitch. It's in for a call strike. Gary Nolan from Oroville, California, and we might have to consult our California expert, Mr. Ralph Cannon, to find out just where Oroville is.
I don't think anybody knows where it is, Lindsay, but I was told it's in Northern California.
I see. Well, that clears it up a little bit. What it does really is means that an awful lot of people in Southern California don't care for him. That's what that means.
A lot of people in Southern California don't care a thing about Northern California.
You can bet on it. The count is 1-1 to Gary Nolan.
And vice versa. Yes, vice versa. You're right.
Seaver wanted the count confirmed and argued down until he did, and the pitcher's in for a called strike 2. It's 1-2. 2 men out, nobody on base for the Reds here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's a pitch that's a little low. Seaver thought he was going to get a call, and so did Grudy. Grudy burns that ball back out to Seaver. It's 2-2. Aurelio Monteagudo continues to throw in the bullpen. Here's a pitch high for the count. 4-3-2 now. Tommy Harper waits on deck. Payoff pitch. And it's low. Seaver has given up his first walk of the day, and he's given it up to his opposite number, pitcher Gary Nolan. Nolan's on at first. There are 2 men out, and Tom Harper's coming up. He doubled and later scored in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Reds got a single in the 2nd and another in the 3rd. The Mets got 2 runs in the 4th inning. A 2-run homer by Tommy Davis over the center field fence. Harper is the right-hand batter. Painful place behind the run of Gary Nolan is first. There's a swing and a comeback. They knocked down at the mound by Seaver. Now he placed the train pull in time, and the side is out. Sam right back to the mound, and Seaver knocked it down, picked it up. So the side's out with no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk, and 1 left. And the score at the end of 5 full innings is tied. The Mets 2 and the Reds 2.
This year, plan a trip to one of the most exciting countries in the world. If you haven't traveled there within the last few years, you'll find it's amazingly changed. There's a new and exciting spirit you can almost feel. It's a dynamic feeling. You can see it in burgeoning industry. You can see it in a progressive people. You can sense the optimism and the growth and the hope. It's a nation filled with incredible natural beauty, too. Immense, majestic mountain ranges. Vast deserts where time seems to have lost its way. Tranquil lakes and broad, sweeping rivers. It's a country that seems to have performed a miracle. It takes pride in its past and looks confidently to its future. For the traveler, a visit can be an exciting, rewarding experience. This year, discover America.
It'll be Al Luplow coming up for the Mets now in the top half of the 6th inning. Luplow's been up twice and had 2 base hits. He effected a drag bunt and was on base for Tommy Davis to hit the homer in the top half of the 4th. Sammy Ellis is tuning up down in the Cincinnati bullpen for a future start along with Aurelio Monteagudo. Since Nolan was on base at the end of the inning, he was a little late getting out to the mound, and he is just now finishing up his warm-up tosses. Checking the scoreboard, the Chicago Cubs defeated the Houston Astros by a score of 4-1. Nye is the winner, and Bo Belinsky is the loser. Ron Santo hit a 3-run homer for the Cubs in the 1st inning. Actually, it was enough to stand up. Luplow batting number 3, and Wes Weston's Met batting order is at the plate. Nolan's pitch is in there for a called strike. Gary Nolan, 18 years of age. First draft choice of the Cincinnati Reds a couple of years ago in the free agent draft. Here's the pitch, and it is low for a ball. 1-1. And as Ralph Canna pointed out, Nolan was married at the age of 15 and is the father of 1. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Curveball swung out and missed. 1-2. As the morning paper pointed pointed out here in Cincinnati today, there's a lot of pennant fever in this town, early season pennant fever. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swung on and hit on the ground foul back to first base. Yogi Berra gets a hand as he comes off the coaching line to barehand that one. 1-2 to Luplow with Tommy Davis waiting on deck. Cincinnati Reds certainly got away from the wire with a flying start here in April. 1-2 pitch, swung on, and Meston Nolan has his 6th strikeout of the ball game. Now Tommy Davis hit into a forced play and hit a 2-run homer so far in this game. It's funny how that pennant fever is contagious in a town among people associated with the ball club. Nolan now with a pitch to Tommy Davis. Swung on and fouled off. Usually it extends just to fans and people who follow the game closely, but not to those directly associated with it. But that isn't always the case. Here's the pitch. Swung on it on the ground to third. A big hop up to Darren Johnson. He's gone to the cross end time. Tommy Davis has grounded out, and that'll bring up Ed Craneville. Yesterday, a veteran baseball writer, a man who's been writing baseball for at least 25 years, came to me and with that pennant glint in his eye said, "What are they saying around the league about our team?" And usually, in April, they aren't saying much, really, about the final outcome because it is a long season. They play 162 games. Here's a pitch to Ed Craneville, and it's low for a ball. And many, many things happen in the course of the long season to a pennant race. So veteran baseball men usually sort of take it all with a grain of salt. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Swung on and lined to second. Taken by Helms for the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And the score at the end of 5.5 innings is, and that's 2 in the Reds too. And here...
Be a modern 49er at Armory Garage in Albany. There are golden savings waiting for you at Central and Colvin in Albany during Armory Garage's 49th anniversary sale. Armory has hundreds of top-condition used cars waiting in their lot for new owners. The prices are so low that Art Neat has to look the other way when he walks past. Prices are low at Armory, values are tops, and terms are unbelievable. Pick out an Armory used car, pay as little as 49 cents down, and then take years to pay. Financing is a breeze at Armory Garage, too. If you have the ability to pay, they'll say okay. And Armory offers you 101 time payment plans to fit your budgeting. Big business at Armory Garage means better deals for you. 3 shops, 2 immense lots, and 135 employees combined to give you great selection, service, and deals. Cash in on great savings on used cars and new Plymouth during the 49th anniversary sale at Armory Garage, Central at Colvin in Albany.
And now to the bottom half of the 6th inning, and it's Beta Benson coming up. First, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
This is Jerry Ducey reminding you that the best things happen from 1 till 3 on the Jerry Ducey Show here on the big bright sound of WGY Schenectady.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Steiner and Bob Murphy at Crosley Field in Cincinnati. Well, the lights came on. Donatelli had walked over toward the dugout, and the lights came on, and he doesn't want them on right now. He doesn't want to give the Cincinnati batters any advantage of possibly having the advantage of having the lights on right now because the Mets did not have them on for their half of the 6th inning. Augie turned to the dugout, waving that hand negatively and waving it, but they're on. The lights are on, and he's not going to allow play to continue. Donatelli raises his hand and says, no, no, no. And so Penson steps out of the batter's box. Manager Wes Weston is on the steps of the Mets dugout. At the end of the inning, he can turn those lights on with no problem at all. Donatelli's looking up at the light towers now, and they're on very brightly. Of course, this is the ballpark where Major League Night Baseball was first played when they were turned on in 1935.
14,368 and 728 children. For a total of 15,088. 15088.
While we're waiting for the lights to go out all over Crosley Field, here are the attendance figures for today. The paid attendance is 14,360, and the total attendance is 15,088. Paul Summercamp, the public address announcer, just with measured pace in his voice, announced, would they please turn out the lights? That is why we are being held up. Donatelli apparently asked for the lights to be turned on at the end of the inning. That's usually the way it's done. But they were turned on anyway, and they're on right here now. When they were turned on in 1935, the impresario here at the time and general manager was Larry McPhail. And he had President Roosevelt press a button in the White House in Washington to turn on the lights at Crosley Field. They might have to go to Johnson to get these turned off here. You're right. They may have to press a button in the White House to get them out. And now, Dave Bristol, the Cincinnati manager, is coming out. Apparently to talk to Augie Donatelli. Bristol says with palms up saying, what about it? Donatelli says, look at the light. Bristol saying, let's play. Donatelli saying, turn them out. Bristol is a little dejected. He starts back, says a couple of words to Donatelli, and goes back to the dugout. As Ralph kind of pointed out, the bonus contention always in a case like this is that the umpire doesn't want to be placed in the position of having favored one team or the other in the matter of ability to see. Now, if it had suddenly gotten very dark or something like that, of course, the umpire's empowered to do it any time he wants to. He doesn't have to wait. But this wasn't the case because it's just been overcast most of the day, and he decided he wanted them on at the end of the inning, and they were turned on anyway. So the lights are still on. There's been no move to turn them off. They got on an awful lot quicker than we were waiting for them to be turned on, and they go out as we play that. The lights are now turned off, and Vader Benson, who had started back to the dugout, turns around and walks back up to the plate, and we'll continue. The score is tied 2-2. Bottom half of the sixth inning. Tom Seaver's on the mound for the Mets. He's been in all the way, and Vader Benson is up. He's 0 for 2 in this game. Has a batting average of .342 for the season. Davis pitches outside for a ball. Vader Benson started this year with a lifetime batting average of .301. We had rain in Cincinnati last night, a good part of the night. We had rain this morning. Oh, as late as 10 o'clock, it was raining hard. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and it's outside. Adding to the confusion of the morning around Cincinnati was the fact that Cincinnati did go on daylight savings time this morning at 2 o'clock, as did most of the nation. In other years, Cincinnati stayed on Eastern Standard Time. So there were all sorts of complaints, confusion. Here's a 2-0 pitch, swung on and popped up to short left field. Alomar is going down the line, and he still falls down in foul territory. It's a foul ball out of play as Alomar was trying to turn to get position and slipped down on the turf. The ball fell about 2 feet away from his outstretched glove. Vader Benson had gone all the way to second in the hope it would be a fair ball. It wasn't. It was a foul ball. So Vader Benson is still alive. He gets to life as Alomar slipped down and lying on his back had the glove outstretched and the ball fell about 2 feet from it. He wasn't in a position to make any adjustment from where he lay. One of the best catches I saw Benson make happened in Shea Stadium when he fell down in right field, and while he was on his back, he caught a ball that was somewhat similar to that. I remember very well. He did. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Swung on that line into right. He stays alive and gets a hit. Luplo comes up with the ball, plays it back, and Benson's on. So now with nobody out, it's Steve Rose coming up. The hit was number 5 for the Reds off Tom Seaver, and the hits are all even now. Totals to this point for the Mets, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. For the Reds, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. We're going to get a little action for the first time in the Met bullpen. A little stirring around down there now. Steve Rose, a switch hitter, batting left against the right-hander Tom Seaver. Grounded out and single so far in this game. Now throw over to first base, not in time, just a calling card. Don Shaw is the left-hander getting up down there to throw. Jack LeMahieu is the right-hander up and throwing. Here's a pitch, and it is outside for a ball. Rose squared in bunting position, didn't offer. Boyer came in and he galloped from third. Rose at the plate, and Lee May is on deck. May had a home run in the second inning. Seaver looking at it, Jerry Grody for a sign. Simpson leads at first, a throw over. He's back safely. Again, a throw to first, it's not in time. This will be a 1-0 pitch to Peter Rose with a runner going, and it's fouled back and out of play. Into the upper deck. So it'll bring Simpson back to first. He was moving on the pitch. Rose back in. Seaver's up and set. Simpson leaves, and here's a throw to first. Simpson back safely. This is a 1-1 delivery, but before he pitches, Seaver steps off the rubber. Rose steps out at the plate. Mets 2 and the Reds 2. The Mets won the first game here today by a score of 2-0. There's a pitch hit back to Seaver, and he goes to Alomar for one. The relay to first is not in time, and Alomar beats, or rather, Rose beats his there as Alomar's throw hit out in front of Cranesville. So they got the lead runner. There's one away, and that'll bring up Lee May, who homered in the second inning. They were down on an error by Ken Boyer in the bottom half of the fourth inning. He's a right-hand batter. Tony Perez played first base in the first game here today. Perez has been playing most of the time for the Cincinnati Reds. Go to first, and this time Rose gets back safely. Pitch is swung on line into right center field. Rose on second on his way to third. Luplo scoops the ball up, plays it back in a hurry. Rose to third base, but holding it first is Lee May. The Reds have runners at first and third, one man out, and Darren Johnson coming up. Johnson singled right in the second inning and hit into a double play in the fourth inning. Conference at the mound now. Jerry Grody's there, Ed Cranepool's there, Chuck Hiller's there. Luplo moves across in a hurry to take that ball out there in between himself and Don Bice to prevent any further advance. When they play that charge bugle call down here in the organ, they take it literally because the people with their umbrellas stand up a la Teddy Roosevelt fashion and make the motion like they had the sword. They do indeed. They act it out. Darren Johnson. Big right-hand batter, in and waiting. Seaver checks the runners at first and third, and the pitch swung on. Hit on the ground, is short. Alomar's off his arm and out into left field. Rose scores, and on the way to third is Lee May. Throw goes to second. Runners at first and third. The Reds lead 3-2. It looks to be a perfect tailor-made double play ball. It is scored by the Cincinnati scorer as a base hit. It was directly at Alomar. Hit the ground in front and then bounded off his arm. As he was trying to get in position to play it over to second, it is scored as a base hit for Darren Johnson, and that will be a run batted in. Well, you can lead the league and runs batted in with that kind of scoring. I should say you can. The Reds lead by a score of 3-2. Now the pitcher's in for a called strike. It looked to be a perfectly tailored double play ball because it was hit hard enough so that they would have plenty of time to make the play. And Alomar was trying to get in position when the ball ricocheted off his arm. Here's a pitch low for a ball. The official scorer, and it's left to his discretion, says base hit. There are official scorers who would have said error. That is really tough on a pitcher because that makes the whole earned run picture change entirely. Playing a foul ball back and out of play, and it's tough on this pitcher because coming into the game, he led the National League in earned run averages. Well, if there was ever a tailor-made double play ball, that was it. Count to Helms with 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Tommy Helms at the plate. He's grounded out and flied out so far. Still only 1 man out with runners at first and third, and the Reds leading 3-2. Beaver's up and set. Pitch is outside. 2-2 now to Helms. Lee May is the runner at third. Darren Johnson's the runner at first. Seaver set. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit back to Seaver. He goes now to Alomar for 1 to throw to first. A double play. 1-6-3, and the side is retired. But the Cincinnati Reds got a run on 3 hits, no Matt errors, and 1 Red left. And the score at the end of 6 full innings is the Reds 3, the Mets 2, and here's Ralph Kiner. Well, once again, we'd like to remind you that good season boxes for the 1967 Mets games are still available. And it's not too late to pick up your season boxes for the games scheduled for the rest of the season. And, of course, they have a wide variety of other season ticket plans that can suit your individual taste. To find out about these plans and to order tickets, contact Ticket Manager Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. Zip is 11368, and if you'd like to, you can also phone in. The number is 672-3000. That phone number again, 672-3000. They'll talk over that ticket plan that's best for you or your group and explain how to go about ordering. And you still have time to get in for a season ticket plan or a special ticket plan, starting with the Giants when the Mets come home to play the Giants next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. Big homestand coming up. Mets playing the Giants, playing Houston, and also the Cincinnati Reds. Playing Houston over the weekend, and the Reds, starting a week from Tuesday, playing Tuesday, Wednesday night, and also a Thursday afternoon game. There's a special added attraction for that Giant series. There will be 5 strolling banjo bands from the famous Your Father's Mustache establishment in Greenwich Village, who will play throughout the ball game. They'll roam every level of Shea Stadium to add to the fun and excitement. Well, you don't need much added attraction when you got Willie Mays and the Giants in, and it's going to be quite a series starting on Tuesday. Right now, here for the play-by-play with the Mets trailing now on the scoreboard 3-2, Bob Murphy. All right, Ralph, Ken Boyer will be up as we move to the 7th inning as the Mets try and even things up or forge a lead against the 18-year-old right-hander, Gary Nolan. The Reds have 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. New York, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. The Mets winning the opener on the shutout pitching of Don Cardwell, 2-0. Now here's the windup by Nolan, and the pitch to Boyer, a foul ball, back up into the crowd, no play. Kenny 0 for 2. Jerry Grody is the on-deck batter, and then Don Bach. A ground smash through the hole in the left field for a base hit. So Boyer is on, and that breaks the hit famine for him. Kenneth Gunn hitless in his last 21 times at bat. Now Jerry Grody coming up. Jerry looking down now to check with Salty Parker to see how Wes Westrom wants to play it. The Mets trail by 1. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Now Nolan off the stretch. He's around the bunt. Doesn't offer, and the curve is outside. Ball 1. The 18-year-old right-hander has not walked a man and has struck out 6. Next pitch to Grote, a full swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Darrell Osteen is now on call of the Cincinnati bullpen. Sammy Ellis has been doing some tune-up work. He pitched the opening game of the series. Bob Shaw and Dennehy tuning up for New York. And he bunts it and pops it up. Calling for it is the catcher, Johnny Edwards, and he catches the ball in fair territory near home plate. So Grote, trying to move the runner, popped up. Next pitch to Grote, a full swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Darrell Osteen is now on call of the Cincinnati bullpen. Sammy Ellis has been doing some tune-up work. He pitched the opening game of the series. Bob Shaw and Dennehy tuning up for New York. And he bunts it and pops it up. Calling for it is the catcher, Johnny Edwards, and he catches the ball in fair territory near home plate. So Grote, trying to move the runner, popped up. That brings up center fielder Don Bosch. We'll bring you right up to date on all of the Major League ball games at the end of the inning. Swing and a miss on an knee-high fastball. 1 out and 1 on, top of the 7th. Reds lead 3-2. Tom Seaver should have been out of the gym without a run scoring in the last of the 6th inning. Foul ball back, no play. Bosch singled to left field his last time up. Don has 1 for 2. Tom Seaver has come out of the on-deck circle. The 2-strike pitch by Nolan, a fastball that's high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Wes Western turns the sign down to the bullpen for Jack LeMahieu to start getting ready in the event he elects to send up a pinch hitter. And the ball is a curve that's popped up down the first base line. Lee May, the first baseman, midway between first and home, has it for the out. Now Larry Stahl is going to come up to bat for Tom Seaver. Well, here's a tough break for Tom Seaver. The ground ball hit right at Sandy Alomar was a tailor-made double play ball. Had the Mets made the double play, the score would be tied, and Seaver would not have to leave this ball game.
Just goes to show you how complicated this game is, because the score would have been tied. He would have not left the ball game. He would have had a chance to win. Now he goes out possibly with no chance to win. He might be the losing pitcher. It's a tough break, and you get many during the season, and all you hope is that they even out throughout the year.
Larry Stahl is the pinch hitter for Tom Seaver. There's the Rheingold Chug-A-Mug, holds 12 ounces of Rheingold Extra Dry, and it has a full tab, so you don't need an opener. You'll find it's about the handiest way there is of quenching your thirst. You'll find Chug-A-Mug on special display at your local stores in New York and New Jersey. Breaking ball outside, 1 ball and no strike. Larry has been up 9 times this year. He has 1 hit. Fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. So the Mets will have a new pitcher in the ball game in the last of the 7th inning. Tom Seaver again pitching very well.
This young right-hander is really impressive. Outside, ball 3, and Nolan goes behind on Stahl, 3-0. Bear in mind, the young right-hander, he's just 18, has not walked a man. Ken Boyer on first base, 2 men away in the top of the 7th. Now the 3-0 pitch, a swing and a miss. Oh, West gave him the green light to try and hit the ball up into the seats. It's about the only way that Tom Seaver can get the win in this ball game is for the Mets to grab the lead right here on the top of the 7th. Pitching 3-1. Swing and a miss and a high hard one is 3-2. Count 3-2 on the pinch hitter, Larry Stahl. Larry, a left-hand batter, and he does have power. Now the payoff delivery. The runner goes, and the pitch is popped up foul. Moving over Darren Johnson. He has no play. It'll drop into the crowd. Mets return to New York after the doubleheader. Jack Fisher opposes Gaylord Perry Tuesday night at Shea as the Mets open the Giants series. Pitching 3-2. Foul back into the glass backstop. And again, Boyer has to retreat to first base. Now Kenny Boyer edging off. There he goes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Nolan, who was behind 3-0, came back with his fastball to strike out Larry Stahl. So the Mets are out in their half of the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. And at the end of 6.5 innings, the Cincinnati Reds 3 and the New York Mets 2.
The late Adlai Stevenson once said of the United Nations,
But what did we expect? That peace would drift down from the skies like soft snow? That there would be no ordeal, no anguish, no testing in this greatest of all human undertakings. Any great institution or idea must suffer its pains of birth and of growth. We will not lose faith in the United Nations. We see it as a living thing, and we will work and pray for its full growth and development. We want it to become what it was intended to be, a world society of nations under law, not merely law backed by force, but law backed by justice and popular consent.
come to UN headquarters in New York. When you see people from 117 countries working together, you'll realize that they can continue to work together. That if the UN hasn't solved all the world's problems in 20 years, at least it's begun. Come to the UN.
Now here are the changes for the Mets as the game moves to the last of the seventh. Larry Stahl will stay in the ball game. He goes to center field. Don Bosch comes out. Jack LeMahieu is now pitching, and Jack will be hitting in Bosch's spot, the number 8 spot in the batting order. Jack LeMahieu from Springfield, Massachusetts, making his second appearance since joining the New York Mets. In 3 outings for the White Sox this year, Jack had won 1 and lost none, and had worked 5 innings in relief. Cincinnati will have the bottom third of the order coming up against LeMahieu in the last half of the seventh. Jack is from Farmingdale, Long Island. Johnny Edwards will be leading off. Edwards, left-hand batter, facing 30-year-old Jack LeMahieu. The right-hander's first pitch, a big slow curve that's over, strike 1 call. Johnny Edwards has skied deep to left and fly to center, nothing for 2. last year with the White Sox, LeMahieu was 7-9. Now the pitch on the way, and the fastball under the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets trying for a sweep. If they could sweep the twin bill, they'd return to Shea with a 500 road trip, 3-3. Despite the fact that the team has not been hitting. The 1-1 delivery, a high fly ball hit into shallow left. Tommy Davis saunters in, he's under it, draws a beat on it, and makes the catch for the out. 1 out and nobody on. Now Leo Cardenas. Cardenas has been up twice and been struck out both times. We'll bring you up to date on all of the other action in the major leagues at the end of the inning. The big story in baseball today centered around Steve Barber of the Orioles, who made a second bid for a no-hitter. Now LeMahieu delivers to Cardenas, a breaking ball outside, ball 1. Now LeMahieu has his sign from Jerry Grody, and the pitch to Cardenas, a pop fly down the first baseline. Eddie Kranepool on the rim of the outfield grass takes it for the out, 2 men down. Now Gary Nolan coming up, and he'll get a big hand from the crowd here in Cincinnati. This 18-year-old youngster has done an amazing job. His picture and background story does not even appear in the Cincinnati yearbook. They had no idea he'd be around. They took it for granted he'd be pitching in the minor leagues, but he was so great in spring training, they had to bring him north. Now the pitch on the way, and the fastball is over, strike 1 call. It'll be interesting to see if he can survive the next squad cut when the teams have to get down to 25 men after 30 days of the season. One ball, 1 strike. I don't know. It's the way he's been pitching, of course. You'd have to say yes right now, Ralph, but they may decide that maybe he needs more seasoning. You just never know. 1-1 pitch to Nolan is foul back against the glass backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think right now, if you sent him out, you'd have to take Dave Bristol with him.
I think you're right. Well, if he doesn't get bombed between now and then, you can bet he'll stay around. Now LeMahieu out of his windup, the 1-2 pitch. Off the outside corner, it's 2-2. Dave Bristol gets Maloney and Pappas healthy. He's going to be deep in pitching. The 2-2 delivery, a swing and a miss, he struck him out. Side retired in order with LeMahieu on the hill in the last of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Now, 7 innings complete. In the nightcap of the twin bill, it's Cincinnati 3 and the New York Mets 2. Now let's get together with Ralph and check all the other scores.
Well, after 6 1/2 innings, the Giants lead the Dodgers 2-1. Bob Boland pitching for the Giants, Drysdale going for the Dodgers. And the Giants will be in Shea Stadium playing the 3-game series starting Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All-night games, so come on out. Philadelphia beat Atlanta 6-4 with 3 runs in the top of the 9th. In the first ball game, Grant Jackson, the winning pitcher, Carroll, the loser. Bunny, the Lou, Torrey, and Carty had home runs. In the second ball game, after 4 1/2 innings, Philadelphia won, Atlanta won. Rick Wise against Bob Bruce. Cubs beat Houston 4-1. The winning pitcher was Rich Nye. He pitched a 4-hitter going all the way. Belinsky, the loser, Sano home run to the first with 2 men on. And Pittsburgh stopped St. Louis 2-0. The winning pitcher, Pizarro, 4-hitter. The losing pitcher was Jasper. In the American League, Cleveland beat Chicago 2-1. As Bell picked up the win, the losing pitcher was Howard. Wagner and McCraw had home runs in that ball game. At the end of the first inning in the second game, it's Cleveland 1, Chicago 0. Hargan against Higgins. Higgins came in the game in the second, replacing Bazard, who replaced O'Toole. Detroit beat Baltimore 2-1 without a base hit in the ball game. First time in the history of baseball that 2 pitchers combined to pitch a no-hitter and lose. Steve Barber and Stu Miller. The winning pitcher was Wilson.
And Barber won 8 innings on a no-hit, no-run ball game, giving up 1 run and then going out, and Stu Miller coming in and giving up the other. At the end of 2.5 innings, Detroit nothing, Baltimore nothing in the second game, Farmer against Palmer. And Washington beat Minnesota in the first game of their doubleheader 7-3. The winning pitcher, Pasquale, Grant the losing pitcher. At the end of 7, Washington 3, Minnesota nothing in the second game. Klein replacing Jim Cott, and more pitching for Washington. Harrelson and Camilli had home runs. Yankees beat California 4-1 on a 3-run home run by Mantle in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Womack the winning pitcher, Burnett the losing pitcher. In the second ball game, it's the Angels 1, the Yankees nothing. Clark and Downing, the opposing pitchers, going to the top of the 5th. Kansas City beat Boston 1-0. A 5-hitter pitched by Jim Nash, the losing pitcher Brandon, also a 5-hitter. Cater a home run in the second with no one on base.
John Sullivan has had 1 for 5 this year. He's hitting for the leadoff batter, Alomar. The pitch by Nolan, a fastball in for a called strike, and Nolan now has a 2-strike count. Chuck Hiller is the on-deck batter, and then Al Luplo. The 2-strike delivery, and he pops the ball up. An infield pop fly out in front of the plate. Johnny Edwards is waved off by Darren Johnson, and Johnson takes it for the out in fair territory. Right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Hi, this is Jerry Ducey. If it's conversation you're looking for, then talk to me on my telephone show each weekday afternoon at 1:30 here on the big bright sound of WGY Schenectady.
Bob Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson from Crosley Field, Cincinnati. Good ball game going. Mets trail by 1, top of the 8th. And a slow curve is fouled off back toward the on-deck hitter, Al Luplo. Charlie Hiller has struck out, flied to left, and been robbed of a hit on a diving, somersaulting grab by Tommy Harper. The pitch by Nolan. Fastball on the inside corner, strike 2. This young right-hander knows the strike zone. He got behind Stahl in the 7th inning, 3-0, and came back to strike him out. Now a ground ball bounced to second. A big hop for Tommy Helm. He pegs to Lee May, 2 men down. Al Luplo has 2 hits and 3 times up. Al singled to left, then laid down a beautiful drag bunt, beat it on for a base hit. Last time up, he was struck out. Al hitting .296. And no strike. Tommy Davis waiting in the on-deck circle. The pitch by Gary Nolan, a curveball over for a call strike, 1-1. Well, Dave Bristol has Ted Abernathy getting ready in the bullpen now. Abernathy worked 1 inning in the opening game here today, retired 3 in a row. Mets won the game 2-0. And a fastball at the letters for a strike, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes on Al Luplo. Curveball hit in the air towards shallow left center field. It may drop in. It does for a base hit. And Luplo has his 3rd hit of the ball game. Al hit that one down off the end of the bat and drops it in. A Texas leaguer to short left center. That brings up Tommy Davis. Tommy tied the ball game up with a 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. Towering shot over the center field fence. Tommy's 2nd home run of the year. He now has 6 runs batted in. Now the Mets have Luplo, the tying run on first, 2 men down. We're in the 8th inning. And the fastball is over to Tommy Davis, strike 1. Lee May holding against the base runner. Now Luplo edging off. And a ground ball hit right at Tommy Helm. He snags the hop, throws to May, and the side is out.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 7 1/2 innings, Cincinnati 3 and the New York Mets 2.
It's spring and everything's coming up colossal on the corner of Central and Colvin in Albany. It's Armory Garage celebrating their 49th anniversary sale with a crop of constantly changing tested used cars. You have to see to believe. Hundreds to choose from at prices so low that you won't believe them. Art Neat says the selection changes daily. Visit Armory again if you don't find what you want the first time. Pick the used car you want, then put as little as 49 cents down. Take years to pay. Your credit is wealth at Armory. You can buy, sign, and pay at Armory, home of 101 time payment plans. Browse around. You'll see why everything's colossal. From the 3 big shops, 2 big lots, including their 14-acre lot, to the experience of the 135 employees. Then check the allowances, the deals, the fast delivery, and you'll see why Armory's been the leader for 49 years in used car sales and service. It's spring, time to trade up at Armory Garage during their colossal 49th anniversary sale. Central at Colvin in Albany.
Johnny Sullivan was the pinch hitter for Sandy Alomar on the top of the 8th. Now Bud Harrelson takes over as short. Jack LeMabe is on the mound at relief, and the leadoff batter in the last of the 8th inning is Tommy Harper. Harper has 1 for 3 and has scored one of the 3 Cincinnati runs. Tommy Harper batting at .237. Abernathy has stopped working in the bullpen. Monteagudo continues to loosen up. And a slider on the outside corner, strike 1. Veda Penson on deck, and then Pete Rose. Now the windup and the pitch by LeMabe. Fastball inside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. At Dodger Stadium, the Giants came up with 3 runs in the 7th inning. Off Don Drysdale, and Ron Taranowski is now in the game. The Giants lead the Dodgers 4-1 at the end of 7. A high fly, well hit to center. Stahl going way back by the fence, jumps. He can't get it across the wall for a base hit. And Harper goes into second with a double. Larry Stahl went all the way to the center field wall. Jumped as high as he could, and it was just beyond his reach. Luplo did a good job of hustling over to back up on the play when the ball came off the wall. He fired it in, and Harper is on with a double. The 8th hit of the ball game for Cincinnati, and it brings up Veda Penson. Penson had 1 hit in the first game, and he has 1 for 3 in this one. A foul ball going out of play. Giants bidding for a sweep of the Dodger series at Dodger Stadium. They came from behind to win the first game 5-4. They cruised to a victory on the shutout hurling of Marichal last night. The Giants then will be on their way to New York for the 3 games of the Mets starting Tuesday night. Now the stretch by LeMabe, the pitch to Veda. Again it's foul, back toward the crowd, now to play. Chico Ruiz is playing catch in the bullpen on a number of occasions this year in the late innings with Cincinnati in front. Dave Bristol has put Chico Ruiz in defensively at third and moved Darren Johnson to first. Ralph Perry and Don Shaw loosening up in the Mets bullpen. Jack LeMabe with a 2-strike count now on Veda Penson. There goes the runner. The pitch is foul going down the left field line and out of play. Tommy Harper was streaking toward third. Harper has stolen 3 bases in this series. He has 7 on the year. Jack LeMabe trying to hit his belt and get out of the inning with nothing across the plate. The Reds, on the other hand, trying to get that insurance run. The 2-strike pitch, and the curve is foul. The ball was hit into the dirt, came back up, and struck Veda Pinson. Mets won the opener on the shutout pitching of Don Cardwell. Ron Swoboda's first home run of the year gave Cardwell all he needed. The Mets picked up another run in the third inning. Now LeMay picks up his sign from Grote. The outfield is swung around toward right. The pitch to Pinson. A drive in the air to right field. Luplow racing in. The full tilt makes the catch. Good play by Al Luplow. And Harper holds at second. Now Pete Rose, the number 3 hitter. Rose has 1 hit and 3 times out. He has driven in one of the 3 Cincinnati runs. Darren Johnson got credit for his 17th RBI when the official score gave him a base hit on that perfect double play ball that was booted by Sandy Alomar. Rose hitting left against right-hander Jack LeMay. Tommy Harper, an excellent base runner, leading off second. And now LeMay steps off to chase him back. Foul ball hit down the left field line, no play. In the 9th inning, the Mets will have Eddie Kranepool, Ken Boyer, and Jerry Grote to try and tie this ball game up. For the most part, this has been a very well-played doubleheader. One of the few mistakes in the entire afternoon made by the Mets at the moment is a very costly one. Now Jack LeMay in the set position. Ground ball hit hard, fielded by Kranepool. LeMay comes over to cover, and it's in time for the out. Harper moving over to third. Now there are 2 men away, and Lee May is coming up. Lee May has been the batting star in this ball game for Cincinnati. The big right-handed batting first baseman hit a home run in the second inning. He reached on an error, charged to Boyer in the 4th, and he singled to right center to be involved in the middle of the tie-breaking run in the 6th inning. Now the infield is back. There are 2 men away as May steps in. Tony Perez played first base in the first game today. Now LeMay has his sign from Grote, and the pitch to Lee May is inside the high, ball 1. Dave Bristol made only 2 changes in his lineup for the second game. He put Lee May in instead of Perez at first, and Johnny Edwards behind the plate. Pavletic had caught the opening game. Harper leading off third, and the pitch is a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Of the 8th inning, the Reds lead the Mets 3-2. Reds have Harper on third, 2 men down. The 1-1 pitch. Slow grounder, a foul down the third base line, no play. Two strikes now on Lee May. Here's the pitch by Jack LeMay. It's over. Strike 3 called. A good job by Jack LeMay. Well, that was very important. No runs, one hit, a leadoff double. Harper is left on third. No errors, one left on. So at the end of 8 innings, the score, the Cincinnati Reds 3 and the New York Mets 2.
Hi, everyone. This is Bill Edwardson, introducing one of our top recording artists from the 50th state.
This is Don Ho. Here in Hawaii, the surf's up. The palm trees and white coral beaches are waiting for you. Come along with Bill Edwardson when he travels to exotic, beautiful Hawaii. While you're here, you'll join me for an evening at the Duke's Restaurant, Hawaii's largest and most beautiful nightclub. For a real adventure in paradise, let Bill save you a place in the Hawaiian sun. What do you say, Bill?
Well, Donna, I say it sounds like a fun time. And we're going to be all sold out on a trip very, very soon. If you're interested in coming to Hawaii with us, remember the total cost is $599. And that's for the transportation to New York, jetting all the way to Hawaii, champagne all the way, a tour of Oahu, a tour of Pearl Harbor. Just all kinds of fun, golf, and an evening with Don Ho and all the rest. If you're interested, send a postcard here to me, to Bill Edwardson, WGY, Schenectady.
Go to the 9th inning, the Mets need a run to tie. Dave Bristol, the Cincinnati manager, has Kiko Ruiz now playing third, and Darren Johnson has moved over to first base, Lee May coming out of the lineup. Eddie Cranepool will lead off against 18-year-old Gary Nolan. Nolan, once before this year, pitched 9 innings. That was against the Dodgers, a game won by Cincinnati in extra innings 3-1. So Nolan did not figure in the decision. And of that outing against the Dodgers in 9 innings, he struck out 12 men. His first outing, he beat Houston 7-3. He went into the 8th inning. He lost his third start to the Giants. So young Gary Nolan is trying to get his second win of the year and give the Reds a split in this doubleheader. The Mets, on the other hand, hoping to yank it out and return with a 3-3 road trip. Cranepool has a double and 3 times up. Here's the pitch on the way. A fly ball hit the center field. It's playable, and Veda Pinson back in deep center is under it and makes the catch. Ball was hit almost to the fence where it was taken by Pinson. Now Ken Boyer, 1 for 3. Kenny got a base hit his last time up. A snap to hit them, and Kenny had gone 0 for 21. Now the infield and the outfield shading around toward left against Ken Boyer. The Mets 1 run behind. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1, a fastball by Gary Nolan. Jerry Grote, the on-deck batter. The pitch to Boyer. Hit on the ground down to third. Ruiz up with it deep behind third. The long throw is in time. The Mets are down to their final out. Now Jerry Grote is being called back to the dugout. Ron Swoboda, who hit a home run in the first game today to put New York in front 1-0, will bat for Grote. Ron's home run was in the second inning, and that proved to be all Cardwell needed. Don hanging up his 13th Major League shutout. Swoboda had 2 pinch hit home runs last year, and he has a club record of 4 pinch hit home runs, so Wes Westrom has a little background on Ron right here. They need a home run to tie it up with 2 men out. Now Ron stepping in against Gary Nolan. The Reds in front, 3-2. Another well-pitched ball game by young pitchers, by Tom Seaver and by Gary Nolan. Here's the pitch on the way. Outside, it's ball 1. Although an error was not charged, in our opinion, it certainly should have been, and figured in the run, that broke the deadlock and gave the Reds the lead 3-2. Next pitch on the way. Inside and low, it's ball 2, 2-0. Greg Goosen is now coming out on deck. He will hit for Jack LeMahieu if Ron Swoboda can keep it going. 2 balls and no strikes on Ron. Here's the windup. Now the pitch. And it's a blooper hit out towards short right field. It may drop in. It does for a base hit. And Ron is on with a Texas League bloop into short right. And Greg Goosen is coming up to bat for LeMay. Each team now has 8 hits in the ballgame. Greg has 3 hits and 9 times at bat, batting .333. Strong right-hand hitter. Now Cleon Jones will come in the ballgame to run for Ron Swoboda. Mets going all out trying to get this game tied here in the ninth. Right-hander against right-hander. Here's the pitch. And a breaking ball outside as Goosen lunged for it and then held up in time. Larry Stahl is the on-deck batter. Larry got in the game as a pinch hitter for Tom Seaver and then stayed in the ball game going to center field. Reds 3 and the Mets 2. Mets down to their last out. Curve is over a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beautiful slow curve by the young right-hander, Gary Nolan. Leon, the pinch runner, is on first. Now Goosen asks for time and steps out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball high, 2 balls and a strike. Players in both dugouts are standing. Ted Abernathy is warmed in the bullpen for Cincinnati. Now it's 2-1 on Goosen. In the set position is Nolan. The 2-1 delivery. A foul ball whacked right straight back, and the count is 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 Cincinnati. 2 men out. 9th inning. And Cleon Jones, the tying run on first. Now the pitch. A slow curve foul back into the glass backstop. Gary Nolan throwing a lot of curveballs to Greg Goosen. Greg, a good fastball hitter with a fast bat and good power. The Reds in the outfield are playing him deep and around the left. The count is 2-2. Now the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. The game is over. Gary Nolan, the 18-year-old right-hander, striking out Greg Goosen to nail down the win. In the 9th inning for New York, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Final score as the Reds game is split in the doubleheader. Cincinnati 3 and the New York Mets 2. We'll have the recap in just a moment.
Parents of little children, may I offer you a tip for their protection? Your doctor will tell you to be sure they are protected against measles. Lots of people don't take measles seriously enough, but there can be very severe after effects. About 4 million children in the United States catch measles every year. There used to be no way to prevent this disease, but now your doctor can give a measles vaccine. No child need suffer or die now that this vaccine is available. This measles vaccine is the product of many years of research, and your child deserves a chance to benefit from it. The vaccine is effective. Don't wait until measles strikes your child. Don't take a needless chance with your child's health. Make an appointment right now with your doctor or health clinic for a measles shot for your child.